going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with the War Scourge difficulty 6 full gameplay here. So you guys are going to be able to see all my teams and synergies I'm using. And as well, what I'm trying to do here is actually, I'm going to be starting off the difficulty 6. What I've done is actually utilize no Scourges. So I highly recommend this if you guys are doing it for the first time, whichever difficulty level you're doing, make sure you just don't start with any Scourges. So that way you can actually test out the waters, and that way see, you know, how the waves are given the characters that you have. So you can see, even with difficulty 6, a lot of these characters are around that 70k mark. Gear tier level 15 is what they recommend. But again, guys, this is going to be for demonstration purposes, just to show you each node that we're up against, the types of teams I'm planning to bring in, and that way you can see. For sure though, my team is going to be pretty powerful, guys, to say the least, just because generally my first run I don't usually have an issue, but you guys can see if this team is even effective against these lower difficulties. So that said, Web Warriors is who I would recommend for the first couple nodes here. I know that the second node is going to be significantly harder, but that way you can get a sense of the synergy and see what we're kind of up against and pain points potentially. So starting off with this wave here, you can see kind of Nico Minoru, part of the A-Force. We're also up against Unlimited X-Men as well. So first and foremost, applying Disruption, so that way we can get a little bit of damage there going forward. But I think Phyla-Vell is going to be an issue in the beginning here in the higher difficulties, because she does have the cleanse. So that is why I decided to put the ability block on her. But Nico Minoru and Spider-Woman are the other two that we should be focused on. More specifically, Spider-Woman, with the fact that she can actually put offense down on our team. So just keep that in mind. But I mean, so far, because of the power level difference, we're not going to have an issue. But just look at what the negative conditions are inflicting on us, even despite us being a lot higher than them, right? So with the counter attacks from Spider Ghost or Ghost Spider, it's really nice just to get that value from her. But you can see later on the higher difficulties, I could definitely see this node being tricky for sure. Now it's unfortunate we don't have the blind there from Ghost Spider, but that's okay, just because we still have this raw damage from the Web Warrior. So I still think they're going to be probably the best ones to aim for. But you do see in the second wave, we're up against this mixture of Young Avengers too. So just keep that in mind. Again, thankfully, we have our guys built up quite a bit, and hopefully you have Web Warriors built up as well. I am going to do a video with a lower team though, just to see if I can utilize, you know, a lower difficulty team to maybe potentially try difficulty 4, difficulty 5 for those of you newer to the game. And but I won't be able to use these meta characters, unfortunately. But as you can see, no issues there with the Web Warriors, just because I imagine a lot of folks are going to have them built up for Doom 2, Doom 3 raids. And as you can see, even in difficulty 6, you know, it's pretty much a cakewalk, just given their synergies and so forth. The next node is where it's going to be a little trickier, because we are up against a stronger set of characters. As you can see, Shang-Chi, we got Ghost Rider, we got Kestrel, Black Bolt, sharing the mixture of the Secret Avengers minus Captain Sam. But I still think Web Warriors is the way to go for this wave, or even just a mixture of the Young Avengers. But because we have the full synergy of the Bio team, it makes sense to leverage Web Warriors. I think Symbiotes is also a good one too, if you guys maybe need a burner team. So first and foremost, the key target is going to be Shang-Chi, but again, because we have that power level difference, it's only going to take us a couple of attacks, right? The other one to be mindful of though in the beginning is going to be Ghost Rider, because with Ghost Rider specifically, you know, he's going to be reacting every time we take down an enemy, right? And that's the thing to watch for right there. Even with Shang-Chi being significantly lower than us, he still was able to get his turn quite early. So later on, we're definitely going to have issues there for sure. And then I would focus on characters that are crowd controlling, such as Sharon Carter. Leave the tanks like Call Obsidian over, but then in the second wave, we do need to be mindful of Kestrel coming out, and as well as Black Bolt. And in the higher difficulties, this combination here is going to be pretty deadly in my honest opinion. And then afterwards, we're going to see this the rest of the crowd here come out. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to activate the ultimate here, because I do want to spread some AoE damage across the board. And again, because I want to wipe out Black Bolt before Crystal actually gives him a second life there to cleanse and heal. So now we're in a good position. We're left with these 4 enemies here, but I definitely see this one being a problematic node, especially if your Web Warriors aren't built as mine, or these difficulty levels are going to be higher. So definitely at this point, if you're able to have Web Warriors, you can build up some energy. I don't know if they can be utilized again later on. I think some of these guys like Miles Morales, they can be used in the Avengers for nodes 3 and 4. But you'll see in my next attempts here that I'm going to be focused on utilizing young Avengers. I think Bionic Avengers is a good one as well. And if you're able to actually build up Thor, potentially node 4 is where we want him to kind of build up his energy in preparation for what's likely going to be the bottleneck, which in this case is nodes 5, nodes 10, getting us to the finish line. So that's 2 nodes down, guys. The next 2 nodes now are going to require Avengers. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start the Avenger one. And again, I highly recommend. I think Young Avengers is the right call here. And I'm just wondering if I even have them saved here, actually. There we go. So this is from the Famine Scourge. If you guys have these guys, they're going to be pretty much a lock here. I am going to switch things up a little bit with Thor later on in the next node, but Young Avengers makes definitely the most sense just because we've already built these guys up from the last Scourge, unlocking Rogue ultimately. And what's going to be interesting in this wave is we're up against a mixture of the heroes Asgards, but as well as just some remnants of some random cluster teams here. So the one we got to be mindful of is going to be Thor. So I go ahead and take him down. My team is really built up, so apologies, guys. This may not be the best reference, but we do want to take down enemies that, you know, get a chance to have their ability there, right? So Magneto, before he even activates his ultimate, that likely won't be practical in a higher difficulty setting because generally he'll have the speed up on you and already cast his ultimate. But thankfully, we have so much raw power difference here, right? So not too crazy of characters in this wave, but the problem is going to be Thor. 2 Thors existing in this node specifically is what we got to watch out for. And because they have that synergy, you just don't want to get you know, bounced by his raw power when Thor does build up his charges. In that case, I would aim for the non-heroes Asgardians if you're able to, so that way you're not building up charges. Or you can cleanse with a Squirrel Girl hero and actually prepare yourself for a better position, right? But I am going to aim for Thor just because I know he's got that raw damage, and as you can see with him going down, Valkyrie activates the passive there. So another good character that we have to aim for later on. Essentially, the more enemies we take down with Valkyrie, she's just going to be giving buffs back to the heroes as guardians, right? And then Jane is also very powerful, being able to flip and actually blind, but thankfully, like I said, because of the power level difference here, not an issue whatsoever. So I don't think this is going to be so much as an issue as the previous node that we just saw, but we definitely got to wave manage the Thors. If not, there's going to be a lot of off-turn attacks. I think that's the one thing to be mindful of if you guys are going through it for the first time and you have a lower team. So nodes 3, not too bad. Next node here, we are up against some mixtures of the Gamma team. And as well, just some symbiotes and so forth. The character we gotta watch out for is Hulk in the next round, but there's also like random damage with Deathpool too. Now, this one's interesting because for this one, I do actually want to utilize Thor and build up his energy here. So, you know, I'm taking a look here. I think it just makes sense to take out you know, a damage dealer, right? So in this case, America Chavez would be a good one. If you didn't want to lose the tankiness aside, you could also opt for Miss Marvel. So I'm just going to take out Miss Marvel from the corner there. I'm going to leave Thor on the side. And even if you want to actually build up charges for Hulk too, wouldn't be a bad idea, but I'm just going to leave Thor like that just because I do want the full synergy of the Young Avengers as much as I can. And at the same time, build up Thor's ultimate ability just in case we need it, right? So this is going to be a strategy regardless of what wave, what difficulty you're in, guys. I highly recommend it. Fortunately, we have all this retaliation damage and so forth, so we're going to activate Squirrel Girl's offense down here, just be able to prevent some damage. You can see in this initial time, this is one of the first instances in the game where we are up against the Gamma team, and I highly recommend taking down the cleansers and the healers. So in this case, we have a chance to take down Braun, and with him being a cleanser, he can actually provide sustain ability. That's why I would recommend it. But you can see this next wave actually prompts really early, and we also need to be mindful of that death pool there. But fortunately, death pool is usually a pretty squishy character. Now, again, Thor, I don't expect him to do much. I have him as a 7 red, so he's pretty tanky. I'm not worried about him. More so for this wave, just making sure that Thor doesn't take too much damage. Because again, the main reason he's even here is because we just want to build up his turns. His ultimate just takes up a lot of time, and by having it ready from the get-go for the next node, it's gonna just give us a lot of value, especially since we're up against Omega Red. So you can see Doc Ock doing some work there, synergizing with Electro. what we want to start doing is taking down some of these enemies. So Scream is a good one for turn meter. I'll take her down, and as well as Deathpool. Just because if any of our guys go down, Deathpool is going to go ahead and retaliate, right? So you can see, even with the power level difference, them having the defense down on us, it does hurt. So just be mindful of that, guys. And you do want to leave tanks on the field here. So Doc Ock, I'm not a big issue, but we are going to face up against Hulk at the very end here. I would aim to take down Abomination. But we're going to be messing around with 2 Hulks, so just keep that in mind. They're going to be able to have a lot of damage. You can see how well they're doing, and again, we have the power level difference, and we're just lucky that we're significantly better than them, right? So at this point, guys, it really doesn't really matter the abilities of the Young Avengers. You likely won't use them again. So I would just take your time here, try to save up your energy. And again, I'm building up charges again for Thor. So I wasn't able to build it up all the way to use his ultimate, but it did the job in the sense that I only need a turn or 2 now for the next node. So I do, even though we have a significantly higher power level in this node against node 5, I do kind of want to show the strategy here of what I'm planning to do. So originally it's going to be my heroes Asgards mixed in with either Hulk, or as well as having Black Widow to get that value. But what I want to do potentially in this round is I want to see if I can actually get Omega Red to waste a couple of his attacks. So this is experiment. I've never tried this on this node yet, but I want to see if I can just throw in, a couple of these guys, right? Like whether it be the Ravagers. Honestly, we could probably get away with just Hawkeye and Captain America. Let's throw them in there. Let's see if we can actually waste a turn or 2 of Omega Red, because that's going to be the strategy regardless, guys. This is really what they're going to be noted for. Essentially, we want to see, we can't use the ultimate right away, but what we can do is take away the turn meter, and then apply some defense up. And I just want to see if we're able to use a couple of the abilities from Omega Red. It's going to go a long ways, guys. It's going to go a very long ways, especially for the higher difficulties. This is how you're going to get by, right? You got to use these guys as essentially ways to soak up damage. And then, yeah, they're doing really good. So even with these guys in difficulty level 6, not too bad. So ideally, now that we have the second turn, can I land the blind here on Omega Red? So it didn't work, unfortunately, but there you go. Omega Red finished us off. 2 of his turns gone. So there you go. Now we're in a great spot with this one attack, and now let's bring in our A team here to finish up, guys. So that's kind of the logic what you want to do. You really want to set up the stage for that. So I am actually gonna put Thor there. Put up Mighty Thor, Valkyrie, and then I think I am going to try this Black Widow combination because I was able to test it out before, and it seemed pretty good, guys. If you need more sustainability, perhaps Yondu or Star-Lord T'Challa out the blind, right? But I want to see how this does because I experimented this on difficulty 7 with the recent Morgan Le Fay Scourge, and it seemed really, really good. Main reason is because Black Widow can apply that speed up, and we have her away from everyone. It shouldn't honestly be an issue. So again, she's going to be one of the fastest characters here, so I'll apply speed up there. So it's just going to give us that extra needed speed right there. And then now I can actually activate defense up here, the synergy. And we really do want to take down Omega Red, but as well as the cleansers. And thankfully, and there you go, right from the beginning, we already have natural charges. So ideally, this is exactly why we built up all this energy from the previous names. You can just see how powerful Thor is. And again, I'm just super lucky that I have him at 7 red, but I definitely look forward to utilizing this later in the Notes 10. But, just as a simple example here, we can go ahead now. You can clear the board, so this is awesome, actually. This is where we want to be later on, but you can see how powerful Jane is as well. She's going to be able to leverage the Striker. And at this point, I am just going to go ahead and just save up energy. Let's take down some of these damage dealers. We can leave the tanks here. But you can see, even with Black Widow, again, she's not as strong as the other ones, but I still built her up quite a bit because she's going to provide value. The key, again, was really just setting up the stage for that initial attack, and that's a strategy, right? That's the attack side of it, and making sure that we set up the stage and then have this A-team come in and really clear things up, guys. So regardless, I know this is a lot lower difficulty, perhaps, and with the power difference for sure, but hopefully this can illustrate for you guys how powerful these teams are. And again, villains is gonna be hit or miss, guys. Unfortunately, I have a lot of strong, powerful characters on my team, including Morgan Le Fay, Doctor Doom, Omega Red. So I mean, these guys are staples. This is my A team, guys. But if you don't have these characters, Agatha Harkness is here. We got Doctor Strange, Heartless. We got Hela. So you know what, since we have you guys here, maybe let's try out a team that's a little different, that doesn't utilize such OP characters, right? So I'll take out all the big guys. You know what, Nebula, most folks should have. And then, you know what, Dr. Octopus is a good one too. So I'll try not to use any of those endgame characters. And we can see even this mixture, this hodgepodge mixture of villains, they should still be able to get the job done, especially if you have the synergies of Agatha Harkness and as well the Doctor Strange Heartless being able to synergize there. So right away, I can see from this pain point that there's going to be a couple issues, right? We got, you know, Captain Sam being able to provide defense. We have damage there. We have Captain Marvel. So this is a really, really good mixture. But what I ideally want to do is I want to see if I can activate Agatha Harkness's abilities and then actually utilize Hela to actually spread that. So I'm going to reduce the turn meter there from Captain Sam. But definitely this is a problematic wave for sure, just because we're up against quite a bit of powerful enemies. But again, thankfully, we have a lot of powerful characters as well, even regardless of the OP ones, right? So at this point, because I have the raw power difference, I just want to go ahead and use Hela's ultimate there just to do some damage. We really want to take down these guys as soon as possible, especially Captain Sam. He's going to provide a lot of support, speed up, and defense up. So anytime our enemies our allies go lower, you can see Black Bolt's going to benefit from that, right? So thankfully, statistically, we're in a better place than these guys. But for sure, this is why I'm not a fan of the villains, because a lot of these guys, like, you just need some pretty powerful characters in your arsenal, right? So next wave finally spawns here, and we do see the rest of the Herald's Asgards, Nico Minoru. So we're just gonna go ahead and you know what, we'll finish off Miss Marvel just because it's the last of the wave here. But yeah, guys, like I said earlier, if you have some strong characters, like even like Hela, and a big one again is Agatha Harkness, they're still gonna be able to provide value even if you don't have those end game characters like Doctor Doom and Morgan Le Fay. And for sure, hopefully you guys are able to capitalize on the last couple of Scourges. But Morgan Le Fay really does make this a true experience in terms of what she can bring for just shutting down these enemies, right? So, but you know what, Doctor Strange, Heartless, and Agatha, you know, can't discount them though. Very powerful characters regardless. Some of the most powerful villains in the game if it wasn't for those ones I just mentioned. So still really, really good, guys. As you can see, just flying through here. Difficulty 6, if you have similar power levels to me, difficulty 6 is likely going to be a joke, as you can see right now. But again, we're just feeling out how these nodes are, the pain points. Something to be familiar with and watching out for as well, guys, is keep an eye out for Cersei in this one, because she's going to have the built-up synergy with Icarus at the end. So she definitely needs to be a main target that we have to take down initially. And the good news about this wave too, afterwards, is that you can also utilize Yondu. You know, keep in mind he's a villain. You want to build up energy, but right from the get-go, up against a lot of healers. We got some damage here with the Black Panthers. So I think those ones make sense right now. We do have to take down Black Panthers with offense up, because they're gonna shred us apart if we're not careful. As you can see, wow. So yeah, this might actually be a tricky one, but you do also need to be mindful of the defenders, right? So I'm actually gonna back out some of the speed meter from Strife, so that way we can actually slow these guys down. And then we also need to be wary of the stun that Cersei has, but as well she also has a cleanse. So if we're not too careful, some of our negative conditions can get flipped right away, right? So there you guys have it. See, even with this power difference, you can just see how much damage Black Panther's going to do. So he's for sure going to be an issue later on. So that's why if you guys have characters that have dodge, characters that can just mitigate damage, that's going to be the key, honestly, here. So that's why I like Hela, because she has her Gregs there that can actually take up damage. We still have Doc Ock's sustainability, which is really, really good. Now we're at a pretty good point, guys. There might be a heal, but I think we should start focusing Cersei here. Just not sure when the next wave drops, but this is a good time to actually just start inflicting some damage in preparation for, you know, we know Icarus is around the block here, so that's why we need to be wary of that. There we go. Love how powerful Doctor Strange Heartless is. My goodness, his damage is just phenomenal. He just really soaks it in as well. So finally, we have another remnants of the next wave here, but thankfully, Icarus is at the very end. So what makes this node a little frustrating is that this Hulk does come in with his taunts to kind of interrupt your flow. So we're targeting characters like Cersei, and we need to take her down. You know, that's where it's problematic, right? So at this point, I would try not to take down anyone, guys, because keep in mind, Icarus is likely going to spawn. So now that I saw that Cersei was actually the next one to target, we go ahead and do that. But it looks like we can still get a chance to take down a couple more here before the next wave in being Icarus comes. So there we go. Still looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and clean this up. Awesome. And then finally at the very end here, we do see that. So wow, so you can see that's going to be a pain point right there, guys. Even despite how powerful my guards are, Yellow Jacket just comes in and absolutely just wipes our team out. So thankfully though, I still trust the abilities of Agatha Harkness and Doctor Strange Heartless. And worst case, I just throw in my A team there to finish up and clean up. But yeah, just give you guys some context. Just look how powerful these guys are, even despite the fact that you know, we have characters that are significantly stronger than them. So just food for thought, guys. This is a good learning lesson if you're watching this. You can see right here. Let's see if Doctor Strange Heartless can finish them off. And if not, we'll just have to bring in another team. But yeah, just a heads up. This what I love about this scaling is that you can really get a good sense of where these pain points are, even despite the power difference here. So yeah, Lady Deathstrike might be one of the ones I should have finished off earlier, to be honest, because she has all the speed up and her evasion. You know, the longer she gets going here, the more damage she can do, right? So we'll likely have to revise the strategy going forward here, but you can just at least get a sense of how powerful Lady Deathstrike is. So a failed attempt there. Not surprisingly, again, it wasn't my A team, but just to give you a sense too, this is definitely a node I can see people having issues. We saw kind of what happened there. So I'm just going to make this quick, guys. I'm just going to finish them off here with my A team. Just doesn't really matter there. Just going to take a couple attacks, but yeah, villains for sure. Like I said earlier, if you don't have those crazy good characters like Morgan Le Fay, Omega Red, this is potentially one that you might have issues with for sure. But the good news is, you know, we have multitude of different characters for different attempts, so there's always that opportunity to make up that. So there we have it. Could have been more efficient, unfortunately, but not going to stop us from unlocking Red Hulk immediately. So that wraps up the villain nodes, guys. Now we have 2 more nodes here of skill. And now this is a big one, guys. This is one where I would recommend pretty much my main go-to raid team here for the skills. Like, I think this is just rock solid. If you have the synergy with Shang-Chi and Kestro, I think it makes the most sense to actually bring them into the Void. Just because they have the most value for what they already bring to the end game. To be honest, I don't know what other team would perform as well as these guys, right? You could potentially bring in Black Widow again just to bring up her energy, but I think these guys are going to be able to handle it exceptionally well. Especially since you'll see the team that we're up against. They're a good mixture here of, as you can see, like you know, there's a bit aspects of the X-Force. We got like Dagger there randomly, and then we also have the rest of these other guys coming here. So what I like about this Secret Avengers mixture is that they all work out really well. You know, Kestrel can sustain. We got we have the crowd controlling abilities of Sharon Carter. And as well, we have Shang-Chi being able to actually, you know, thrive off of enemies that have positive buffs, and as well being able to cleanse too. So just a really great mixture of a team here, guys. You might want to save up some energy here, though. I was a little aggressive there. Maybe the next wave is going to be more harder, and you want to save up some attacks for next wave. But again, because I know that most of my attacks are one-shotting them, that's why I don't really care. But yeah, for demonstration purposes, guys, I definitely, if you feel like you can manage the wave better and you want to save up the energy and attacks, for sure. So no issue, guys. Difficulty 6, very, very smooth. Again, when it's at 80k power difference there, nothing to be concerned about, especially if you've already been building, you know, your Dark Dimension 4, Dark Dimension 5 characters. This one I do foresee being a little harder just because it has aspects of the limited X-Men, but because they don't have all the main pieces, though, it should still be pretty straightforward. I think maybe the skill section here might actually be the easiest if you have all these 5 characters, but so far so good. Let's take a look here. Yeah, they don't even have Jubilee and Beast to cleanse, so I mean, that's huge right there, guys. So we just go ahead. We one-shot Bishop. I think that's a no-brainer there. Just aim for him if you can, guys. He can do a lot of damage, but again, just because he doesn't even have Jubilee for the value there, so I don't really know how potent that can be. But again, with Shang-Chi, you might be able to do a lot of damage at the beginning before these guys even get a turn, kind of like what you're seeing right now. And really, the main one to control is going to be Black Bolt, but thankfully, he's usually pretty slow. So I'm going to go ahead and finish Echo here. I'm going to go ahead and summon some minions here because we know we're not using these characters afterwards. And then afterwards, I think the thing to watch out for in this wave afterwards is just Magneto. You know, his blind can just buy some time for the team, but and then otherwise, if you have everybody else cleared off like right now, like it should be very straightforward. So I don't think this is going to be a hard no whatsoever. It looks like the pain point right now are those villains one if you don't have those characters, and as well as what we saw originally, that cluster with the bio nodes there. That was pretty powerful from what we saw. There we go. another wrap there. And again, guys, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before, because I wanna practice this for you guys, but as well being able to anticipate, right? It's really important to be able to sacrifice and get the enemies to use some of their attacks in the very beginning. So once again, you guys have already kind of seen flashes of my A team, but I'm gonna throw in now some more powerful characters here to soak up damage. So you know what? I am gonna bring in my Yondu. Let's throw in T'Challa. Why the heck not? Because everybody else we already kind of utilized. I'm going to keep that 5-character mixture that I showed earlier, but otherwise, everybody else can just go in and just soak up damage. I basically want these guys to do as much as they can, and then the A team is what the 5 I showed you earlier. I feel like Black Widow's value there for her speed up is huge, so I'm going to go ahead. Let's aim for the damage dealers and get them out of the way. That's really the goal here, right? Just try to finish off as much as they can. I'm not going to even, I'm just putting it on auto because I basically don't really care about these guys. If they go down, they go down. That's great. But otherwise, like, this is how the mentality should be. Burn as much as their attacks as you can. Take down the damage dealers. And to be honest, it'd be funny if this team actually can finish the job, but I don't know. I don't think so. Just because both Heimdall and Sif, they're not actually built up. So we'll see what happens here. But if they are great, we do have a very strong T'Challa and Yondu. I believe mine is at gear tier 14, so not terrible, but also not great. But yeah, in this next wave, as you can see, it does spawn a Jubilee and Bishop, and this is where we're gonna have to be mindful, right? That's why I was saying earlier, you do want to take down as much damage dealers as you can. So we're gonna finish off the job on War Machine here, but then they're gonna have this mixture of the Bionic Avengers, and that's what we need to be mindful of. So hands down, I think on paper, this node is definitely going to be the hardest node. Hence why I want to do as much damage as possible. Let's see here. We're going to focus. We're going to clean up War Machine and then focus on Bishop. But again, I think the number of damage dealers here, that's why you really do want this first attack to essentially aim for all the damage dealers and let them do their thing, right? And keep in mind, guys, my T'Challa and Yondu, they are built up, and even then, look at that. They're still taking quite a beating despite that fact, right? But so far, doing still pretty good, better than what I would have anticipated. But again, keep in mind, they're geared. This is difficulty 6, and they're actually doing a number on my on these guys that are actually above level. So just to give you a sense of how powerful they are, I don't know if this can be done in one attempt. Maybe if your team is just fully powerful, but that's why I want to demonstrate this example here for you guys, right? So yeah, beautiful stuff there. We got the turn meter reduction. I'm still aiming for Deathlock because he has the most damage right now. Thankfully, Jubilee doesn't actually do a lot of damage. She has good value. She has a stun, a blind, but honestly, she doesn't do a lot of damage. What's gonna be frustrating is this Hulkbuster, because he just does a taunt every now and then, and he actually takes away damage, right? So it does look like my team is going down here, as you can see. But let's go ahead. Let's let them finish us off. But then now, this is a great position to be in, guys. This is exactly what I was waiting for. You essentially want to take down at least half the node here on paper, right? And then finally bring in the team that you're, that you've built up recently. It doesn't have to be like the ones I've shown here, but again, I've kind of designed it like this so that way, this is how it's going to be wrapped up. So there you go. This is the 5 that I kind of started out with nodes 5, and this should be very, very straightforward now, guys. We basically cleaned up all the damage dealers, and at this point, I'm gonna be surprised if they even take down any of us. So this is why it's kind of nice to have Black Widow's speed once again. I'm gonna apply the speed up, and now we're just going full hands on deck. We're gonna Billy block, Deathlock there, and we're just gonna try to do as much damage as we can as soon as possible. What I really want is actually Thor to get off his devastating charged attacks, right? And this is exactly why we kind of been building up, and it doesn't take much because he has the Raider on. I got him at a 7 red, which is huge, and as well now we have Hulk's damage too, so this is what's going to be huge in this node. And then even oh shoot, I didn't see that she was blinded, so oh well, it is what it is. That's okay. We'll go ahead now, and you can see just making short work of difficulty 6, guys. So this is kind of the same strategy that I want to fully utilize later on in the higher difficulties. But there you guys have it, guys. That is pretty much a wrap. We're gonna go ahead now and just wrap up Vision, taking her down finally, and there you go. 30-minute run pretty much here of the Scourge run for War Scourge, difficulty 6. No Scourge is activated. I definitely plan on bringing this higher, but at least you guys can get a sense of the overall characters that we're up against, where the pain points are, even with the lower difficulties, right? So now at this point, because I got the 605k points, very, very straightforward. Now you just go ahead and hit the milestones here, and then we just go ahead and claim everything, right? With this, we're able to actually unlock Red Hulk right away. So again, 500k points. Assuming they didn't change anything, it should be prompted after we hit that milestone 17 there. Recruit, there we go. And keep in mind, guys, stay the course. We have 10, 11 days to go through this. So also remember that even if you guys can't unlock Red Hawk immediately, even if you're going to participate in this event, guaranteed bare minimum, you are going to be getting 40 shards and a 1 red star on them. So just keep that in mind, guys. So thank you as always. I do plan on making more videos on the next difficulty level, as well as which teams is going to work better. But hopefully this at least give you guys a heads up in regards to the team and strategies, and which teams to utilize as you're going forward for the duration of this event, guys. So good luck. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.